Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Tournament Talk. We are looking at tournament lists and we're looking at Skaven tournament lists today. You know me, I'm a huge Skaven coach, so it seemed like a really great place to start. So we've done league rosters, we've done all of the star players. Now we're going to put those two things together and look at what we think are some of the most competitive or fun rosters that you can take to tournaments when the world reopens next year, hopefully, if everything goes back to normal. Now, as you'll know, or maybe you don't know, every Blood Bowl tournament is different. But there are some standard themes that we're going to go with. So we're going to look at 1100 lists, so that's 1.1 million, and 1200 lists, so 1.2 million. We're not going to talk about take 3 of this skill, 1 of this skill, because skills are very different for each tournament. What we are going to do is talk through, hey, if you get one of these, if you get a double, use this skill, or this skill is really important to this roster. We just want to give you as much guidance as we can and just talk through what we think are some of the most fun lists and the kind of ones you're going to see. Anyway, let's have a look at Skaven. So if you've watched our Skaven starting rosters video, you'll see that we kind of gone through a few variations, and these tournament builds kind of link into that. So we've gone with the Rat Ogre first. So this comes in at 1070, so you get 30k left over. For a tournament, I recommend coaches more than cheerleaders because the result of the 7 is going to come up more often, and you're going to be able to net that extra reroll. If you got 30k left over, I would say 2 coaches, 1 cheerleader. But it's entirely up to you. So we're just going to look at the core part of the roster. You can spend a little bit of cash left over. It's entirely up to you. So for this build, which would be for an 1100 tournament, Skaven have suffered a little bit. You used to be able to fit it all in, and you can, but this is what I think would be the best option if you want to go for a Rat Ogre build at an 1100 TV tournament. So 1 Rat Ogre, 2 Blitzers, only 3 Gutter Runners, 1 Thrower, you're going to need him, and I'll come to that in a minute, 5 Line Rats. So that gives you 12 guys. That's 1 Rat Ogre, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that gives you 12 Skaven, 2 rerolls, and an Apothecary. So why that way round? You could take 3 rerolls and no Apothecary, but when you've got only 3 Gutter Runners and you've paid 150, whatever it is, for the Rat Ogre, that Apothecary in a tournament is going to keep, it's basically an extra player, but it's an extra good player, it's an extra positional. That 50k is going to come in so handy, keeping this 85k or 150k or the thrower in place. Now talking of the thrower, because you had to drop some cash here to fit the Rat Ogre in, or to take that Apothecary, one of the key skills is this one here, Leader. Every tournament package, you're going to get at least 1 normal. I think in all of this build, that leader reroll is going to be the most important. It's going to give you that 3rd reroll. You're going to have to protect your thrower, but you're going to have that 3rd opportunity to get something wrong and do it again. If you get more skills, and Skaven are going to be tier 1, so they may not get the most skills in the game, we've got the Rat Ogre. If you can swing a double, taking block on the Roger will be really useful. If you get a double, you can go for Claws, but Claw isn't as good as it used to be. So it depends on what you think the meta is going to be. I believe the meta in Blood Bowl 2020, when it first starts off, you're going to see a lot of humans, a lot of elves, a lot of Skaven. So I don't think that I don't think Claw is going to be as useful as that consistency with block, and block is going to help keep him alive on the offense and on the defense. So if you get a double, block on the Rat Ogre, absolutely. Tackle will not go amiss. If you think about some of the rosters you think we're going to see, the chances are they're going to have some dodge in there. And if you want to see dodge do some work, check out a couple of our game videos. What was it? Dwarves versus Goblins in 11s. And the Jackal Runner in our 7 Super Series, having that tackle, it's just so powerful. Next up, the skills on the Gutter Runners, Block and Wrestle. Block is good for offense, so if you are trying to score, Block will help keep that Gutter Runner alive a little bit longer. And Wrestle is superb if you are defending. If you're going to be trying to get to the ball and sack it, using an Edge 2 plus Gutter Runner, sneaking him in there and taking a Wrestle, even if it's 2 dice or 2 die up, it's going to be worth it. And if you get any more skills that you want to spread around, Kick on a Line Rat is not bad. It will massively help build the opportunity to turn the ball over. Kick drop it close. You've got the Rat Ogre, you've got the Blitzers there to jump in, you've got some Gutter Runners to take the opportunity to grab that ball and sneak it out, and you've got a thrower who can redistribute it. So this list gives you a bit of everything as far as Skaven goes. But if you're not so keen on taking the Rat Ogre, you can actually get a ton of stuff here for a Skaven at 1100. You will be able to get some really potent offense. So if you look at this, you'll notice that this is kind of like a league build, but with an extra 100k, and that 100k gets you two things that fit in your team really, really, really well. An extra line rat and an apothecary. That's all you need. That means that with 2 blitzers, 4 gutters, 2 throwers, 4 line rats, you've got 6 Skaven, plus that apothecary means that if one of your blitzers goes down, or one of your gutters goes down, or one of your throwers, although having 2 is a bit unnecessary, you get that extra player as well. So it's kind of running a 13 player build. That's why the apothecary is so important at this level. 2 throwers is there just to make the most of spare cash. So I think this comes in at 1055. So you get 45k left over. Can't do anything with 45k. Can't afford a lineman. Can't get a reroll or anything. So just spending that cash to boost up a line rat to a thrower, it's not bad. It's never bad. Sure hands and that sweet 2+ passing will get you out of trouble if you need it to. I do not recommend passing at a tournament, but if you want to, this list will be very much fun. So because you're going to be looking at those 3 rerolls, 2 throwers, 4 gutters. You got a heck of offense. So skills wise, same as before. Blitzers, definitely tackle if you can. Block or wrestle on a gutter runner, depending on whether you want to be scoring with them or stopping your opponent from scoring. With this roster, you start with 3 rerolls, so taking leader on that thrower is not ubiquitous, okay? This really brings into question what kind of a Skaven coach you are. If you like pulling off stuff you shouldn't be able to pull off, take leader, get that 4th reroll, and then every other turn you can make a bad decision and you might just get away with it. If you want to just make your offense more reliable or more consistent, you could take on the ball with one of your throwers and get you 3 squares of movement when you are receiving. Probably low down on the skill list, but it will really juice up your offense. Whatever you do, I do recommend kick on a line rat though. We haven't seen any stars yet, but here is the 1 star I would recommend, especially at 1100 TV, Hakflem Shuttlespike. So you can fit Hakflem in at 1100. It is squeaky, but you can do it. So here's the list that I've come up with if you want to run Hakflem. So Hakflem himself, 2 blitzers, 3 gutter runners, 1 thrower and 5 rats. That gives you 11 regular guys plus the star, so it gives you 12 players. You also have just enough cash to take 2 rerolls and that apothecary. Now if you are running a star player, you really should be running that apothecary, because stars for 50k more basically get better than normal regeneration. So you want to be keeping Hakflem around. So this roster is really 4 gutter runners, except one of them is strength boosted and has edge boost as well. So this roster is going to absolutely motor. The downside is you drop a regular gutter runner, and Hakflem does have loner. The other downside is that you are having to struggle at 2 rerolls for your team, so that leader on the thrower is going to be really, really important. However, everything else, absolutely normal. Tackle if you can on the blitzers. You can take claw on your blitzers, but I wouldn't recommend it. You don't have a roger in this one, so maybe mighty blow, but this roster is really about scoring and winning than about taking or playing in the attrition game, because Skaven do not play well at that game. Gutter runners, block, wrestle again, and kick on a line rat if you can. But let's say you're playing in a big boy tournament, you're looking at 1200 TV now, 1.2 million. You can get an absolute ton. So you can take Hakflem and basically that beautiful list from earlier. So you get 2 blitzers, 4 gutter runners, so we're running all 4 now, 1 thrower this time, 4 line rats. So that gives you 11 players plus Hakflem. But you've got the ability now to pay that little bit extra cash. You start with 3 rerolls and the apothecary as well. So 12 players with an apothecary and 3 rerolls. That extra reroll there means that you can reallocate one of your skills, and again, same skills apply for this team. There is nothing different you want to be doing. Tackle if you can on the blitzers, block, wrestle, gutters, thrower on the ball. You can take leader if you want to go for that 4th reroll. You run in a star, That 4+ is going to be tough. And kick if you can. So this roster is now a 5 gutter runner roster. 5 gutter runners at 1200. This team, you're going to have an absolute ton of stuff to do. If you do get a lot of skills, it's just going to make your team better. Your defense is going to be just fine, because you've got all those players, and you do have a bit of bench as well, so you can drop one of the gutters off and have that extra strength 3 player on there. And you've got the apothecary, so that when one of them goes, you can choose to bring them back, essentially. And last but not least, if you don't want to run a star at 1200, you do get a bunch of everything else instead. So if you don't want to run Hakflem, you can also have Glart or something like that. But again, the price increases, you have to drop more stuff. And I don't know if that's really what's going to play into Skaven at first. So full lineup is what we've called this one. It comes in at 1190, so you are making the most of all of your cash here. 1 Rat Ogre, 2 Blitzers, 4 Gutter Runners, 2 Throwers, 4 Line Rats. So 13 players. Backed up with 3 rerolls and an apothecary. I just don't know what you're missing from this roster. You get everything. Everything. You get everything. You got the Rat Ogre and some blitzers there to go and cause some havoc. You've got line rats there, which can be good food for the Rat Ogre. And you've got 4 gutter runners and 2 throwers. If you're playing a 1200 TV tournament and you're taking Skaven, you are going to get to play Skaven in a way that I don't think I have ever managed. In my league, I've never managed to save up enough money to buy the Rat Ogre and also have 4 gutter runners healthy. And 2 throwers absolutely spoiled. So this is going to be superb fun. If you get some skills, same things apply as before. If you can get block on the Roger to keep it safe and to make it more efficient, do so. You don't need to take leader here, so you can swap it for on the ball if you want. Kick is going to be really, really, really important. There's a ton of great options, and quite frankly, if you don't get skills, this roster is still going to allow you to do some serious winning. One last thing on the Rat Ogre, regardless of what list you're running, you're going to need to deploy your line rats near to him. So on the one hand, you're like, my strength 5 armor 8 guy is better than a line rat, and it is, but it's also going to be hurting your line rats. So just bear in mind that that is going to be something that is going to go wrong on the tabletop for you. The Rat Ogre is at some point probably going to eat one of your line rats, but that's why these rosters come with 12 or 13 players, and you've got the apothecary to keep the key ones alive. So, you've got stars, you've got everything. 1100, Skaven can perform really well, but you've got to make a choice. 1200, the only choice is which of everything do I want? Do I want to take Hakflem and go 5 gutters? Or do I want to take the full lineup, the full English breakfast of a Skaven team, have the Rat Ogre along with everything Skaven? I love these teams. I cannot wait to go to a tournament and run Skaven. Normally, I run something silly. I'm really tempted to take Snotlings. Oh my goodness, and Underworld. I think I'm probably going to get excited about almost every team we do for this series. But Skaven, they're going to be good. They are going to be really good. And I, for one, am very happy about that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. That is Skaven tournament rosters. Let us know what you think. Let us know which builds we've missed, because I know you guys are very good at that. And let us know what team you want us to see next. We've got some filming to do, and it's going to be really good fun. Anyway, guys, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching.